call me. Don't come by my house. We're done.
The Winx Club reboot is finally here, and what a disappointment it was. We've only gotten to see half of the first season, and I can already tell that this reboot is horrible.
This is a work of art. This is bullshit.
Not only do I like Winx among other shows, but I've actually made videos about the reboot leading up to its release, and for the most part had very positive things to say about it until we started getting trailer after trailer, and with that, my hope just dipped. I was so excited to give this reboot a chance, but now having seen the first 13 episodes, I have a lot of criticism towards it, which we will be talking about in today's video, so buckle up, grab a snack, and let's get into it. Just from the very first episode, the rush between Bloom discovering her abilities, Mike and Vanessa not even questioning who these two strangers are that are taking their daughter to another world, and any proper introductions for the characters is so frustrating it makes me laugh. Just from the trailers, I was obsessed with the tricks. I loved their designs, their attitudes, until 2 full episodes went by and it was still not properly implied why the tricks were so obsessed with Bloom, other than the fact that they assume she's a fire fairy. Everything about this reboot is so rushed except the fight scenes. They are so painfully slow. I feel like a lot of up-and-coming shows targeted towards younger audiences lack this and also underestimate just how important the voices to these characters are, that they fall flat across almost everybody and lack any real emotion, which doesn't help considering how stiff the animation is. For example, with the specialists, I can hardly tell whether Timmy, Brandon, or Sky are talking if I can't visibly see their mouths moving. They all sound the same, and I don't mean to come across rude to the voice actors, but everything is just so one-toned and boring, which honestly can't be helped when you're working with this kind of dialogue.
Those bangs are living rent-free in my head.
So, it's no secret that the Winx reboot uses AI from its concept art designs to what seems like even the scripts themselves. It's as if every line the character is about to say is as predictable as the next, and not just because the Winx reboot is a knockoff of the original, but because no character genuinely has any unique personality or development about themselves to really separate them from the other. Sure, Stella's a little bit sassy at times, or Tekna is more introverted and therefore her dialogue being more nonchalant, but tell me why the first thing Aisha says when introducing herself to Bloom is, "Aisha, Fairy of Waves, you'll find my name on the food in the fridge."
Aisha, Fairy of Waves. You'll see my name on the food in the fridge.
I get that they're trying to push this whole narrative of Aisha being the athletic girl in the friend group, but let's be real. Nobody is saying that. It really aggravates me with the lack of care and passion that seems to have gone into this reboot. It seems as if because they knew that the original audience would be tuning in and had prior knowledge on the series to begin with, that they felt as if they could just completely skip introducing characters properly and giving them any depth besides being the fairy of this or the fairy of that. It's really a shame because when you think about kids and people who will be tuning into Winx for the very first time, with the reboot being their introduction, they are going to be missing out on so much information surrounding this world and characters that made them special to begin with. Back when we got our first look at what the animation was going to look like for the reboot, with transformations of each of the girls being revealed, I was pretty hopeful. Sure, I had some of my doubts and I wasn't totally in love with the new style. I could already tell that the animation wasn't going to be up to par with other shows that I was watching, but I was willing to put that aside considering I knew Winx was coming back for the first time in a long time, while also doing something completely different from the original, which was the iconic 2D animation. But as we began to get trailers every single day from the social media pages, all of my optimism disappeared. In just the first few minutes of the first episode, you can see what looks like NPC walking, awkward motions when trying to express one's feelings because their faces hardly move. Ugh, it's all just so distracting to me, especially with how overused 3D animation is nowadays. And this is where I ask myself, why did they go with the 3D animation instead of sticking to their roots? It's no surprise that a lot of upcoming films and shows have been done in the 3D style, whether it be for Disney movies or or like with the most recent hit K-pop Demon Hunters, but it only works if done with care, which the reboot lacks because of its heavy usage of AI. With the Winx reboot, I could easily slap a Winx character into the mermaid magic world and you wouldn't even be able to tell. As a matter of fact, on Twitter, I've been seeing people pointing out how models from the school to even background characters were literally just slapped into the reboot. And if that's not the case, then some characters just look rendered entirely different next to others. There is just no originality anymore, and what made Winx so special to begin with was the unique style. I'm talking these sharp, angular designs, an art style so distinct that if you just saw the shadow of it, you would be able to instantly tell where it comes from. And this leads me into my next point, which is the target audience. I understand why they went with the 3D style considering the success of many other shows in the same animation, but when you consider everything that I've already mentioned, such as the pacing and the plot, the people that will actually be the first and guaranteed audience of the reboot are the original fans, which is not your typical kid audience. If you've already seen the K-pop Demon Hunters movie, then you'll know that Maggie, the director, and her husband Rad contributed so much to this film's success. And recently, Rad went to share a reel on his Instagram discussing why he believes that the K-pop Demon Hunter movie did as well as it did and why other more recent films like Elio couldn't even compare to its success. He made a huge point in that nowadays, with the influence of social media, kids are only watching what it is they see people talking about on YouTube. And those YouTube videos are made by adults, therefore an older audience.
Does this property look like it's gonna appeal to people in their 20s, or does it look like it's for kids?
The Winx reboot struggles to understand its target audience because while on one hand, they've decided to keep original characters, their names, designs, and even backstories to pull in and appeal to the OG audience, they've then gone on to rush the entire story assuming that because they're going to have some of their main audience back, we'll just be able to put 2 and 2 together while watching, but then they go on to design the series in a whole new way to try and appeal to a younger, new audience, instead of sticking with their roots and going with the iconic 2D style that once separated Winx from the crowd. And this isn't just something that Winx is struggling to part with right now. Look at the state that Barbie is in. I've been getting ads for this new Barbie series and the animation just continues to get worse. It is so weird for me to make this video because I am genuinely such a positive person, especially when it comes to new media, reboots, and animation, but this Winx reboot deserved better. And all I can hope for is that they try to take some of the fans' criticism and make improvements moving forward. Otherwise, I don't see this reboot lasting very long. The only positive things I have to say about the reboot right now is that I like the end screens and how you can see the original 2D designs of the girls. Some of the songs used throughout the episodes are nice. And of course, with any reboot or new content comes a surge in merchandise. And as somebody that likes to collect things from shows that I like, it's been really nice to see new Winx merchandise with the original art on it. While I'm disappointed, I know that I will be tuning in for the remainder 13 episodes of this first season. But like I said, I just don't see this reboot sustaining itself if things don't change. But as always, feel free to let me know your thoughts about it down below. And if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing to the channel as I share videos covering not just Winx, but as well as other shows that I adore like Miraculous, Monster High, and more. A big thanks to my Celestial Guardian channel members for your support, and if you'd like to become a channel member yourself, you can join through the link in my description to receive benefits like shoutouts and exclusive access to emojis. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.